on Todd Stussy. Look at that get off.
Ooh,
and then he comes in with that inside spin move. You know why he's so good with that inside spin move? Because he's so good with the outside pass rush. He sets those guys up. They have to respect his speed. And then he's got the strength and leverage to come inside and get the big hit.
Well, this will be John Casey from 29. He's been perfect all year. And he's perfect again. So, with the big play from Deshaun Foster, and in spite of that guy coming up the field, the Panthers come down the field and get 3.
Yes, I hear it. It's there.
Yes. For the perfect road trip, hop into your Corolla and head on over to University.
We're close.
I create. 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 I create believers, nightmares, posters, victories. Truth. I create with style.
Get live October 16th. NBA Live 2004. Ready for everyone.
What do you create?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Gina, check this out. I'm sitting next to your new boyfriend. Don't you just love your new boyfriend?
I do love him.
As long as you're happy.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. At Sprint stores, choose a selection of picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toy. Get the feeling. By NBA Live 2004 from EA Sports. Create your game with free control. By Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. And these new home-style chicken strips. Another reason it's better here.
Back here in Indianapolis, yeah, I like these two guys a lot better than the Elvis.
Yeah.
Deshaun Foster and Favors in big plays last series.
Greg knocked that ball loose from Ricky Williams. They came up with Foster screen pass, taking it all the way down the field.
Casey will kick away to Brad Pyatt. And Pyatt, as we said earlier, has been very good getting field position. He's had some big returns. He'll get very little on, brought down immediately by Lester. 19 yards on the return. Peyton Manning coming up.
Whether they wear a tool belt or a necktie, SBC's nearly 170,000 employees, many of them third generation, are just picking people. Their tails off, just so you can get on the phone and ask what's for dinner, or say ship 5 widgets to my house. Most people take the oil phone for granted. We don't. We can't. Ordinary people, extraordinary job. SBC.
You live a lot of your life between 0 and 55. No one understands it like your State Farm agent. That's why more people insure their cars with us than anyone else. Because we think car insurance should be as much about you as it is about your car.
So, how much software do you want to buy?
Mr. Moon is here.
How much software do you want to buy?
Are you tired of pushy software?
So...
Buy software on your terms. Flex Licensing from Associates.
This October, Fox is telling these beautiful European women that this $1,000 a year couch is worth $8 million in oil. We lied. Again.
Now to the best part, Rich.
The next Joe Millionaire, National Affair, Monday, October 20th on Fox.
There you see the turnover ratio, not quite the norm for Carolina.
No, and they're at -2 there. Of course, -1 now after they had that one turnover. But that's an anomaly.
The Carolina defense with a shot of movements,
and they've gotten after Peyton Manning in that offense. A few 3-and-outs, getting them off the field.
And Dan Henning, the Carolina offensive coordinator, for switching some parts around and getting some big plays. Hunter Smith will kick to Steve Smith. Smith goes backwards. Now he'll try to come forward. Oh, what a shot. A huge block there by the return team. Well, he's worth 80 million in oil. At least that's what they've been told. These beautiful European women, they'll want to know what happened when they find out he's only worth $11,000 and he's a coward. Monday, October 20th, don't miss the premiere of the next Joe Millionaire, an international affair right here on Fox. You're like one of those Joe Millionaire guys.
About 11,000 a year. That's all right.
No, you're the 11 million a year.
Yeah.
Year before they know the trick. First and 10. Stephen Davis back in, and he grinds it out. And now Stephen Davis is back to the old Davis.
Right
over
up the
5
gut.
yards of crack.
That's right. 5 carry coming into the football game today, and he's got that bruised forearm now, which he did right at the beginning of the second half. He's got a pad on that thing, and I will bet that Indianapolis will do all they can to try to put a hat on that when Steve Davis is carrying the ball. See if they can't get him to drop that ball, if they can knock it loose.
Second down and 4.
See, now Carolina can play their game. And this is it right here, running the ball and killing the clock.
It'll be another first down. And Davis, just a first-class up all the way around, the best free agent acquisition in the offseason.
Bar none. And look what he's done here. And these are all the other Carolina running backs. And then here's Stephen Davis. That 23. Goodness. That's more than a first-class up. He had to put him in front and let him fly the plane.
As he told Pam Oliver in the pregame show, it got so bad at one point Washington said, I wanted to quit. I wanted to walk away. It's a new team can make. Foster trips and then throws out the stiffy. Just told Nick Harper, get out of here.
From Stephen Davis. And I really think Stephen is happy and being back home. You know, he's from Spartanburg, South Carolina. In North Carolina, he's back in Carolinas. Could have taken more money to go somewhere else, but he's happy. He knows he's going to get the football 300-plus times this year if he stays healthy, and he'll get his yards behind that offensive line.
I think Stephen Davis is still hurting a little bit, though. And I know he comes out for spells, but he doesn't even have to up there.
No.
Yeah, he does. Maybe he'll come back in. Foster's close to the first down. I think that forearm is still smarting a little bit.
And he's already taken a few shots on it as he's been back. You watch Indianapolis, they'll do what they can to hit him. Again, you've got to drop off. You've got to drop off when the kid from UCLA, the second-year pro, Deshaun Foster. But they have super high hopes for this guy. And I think before it's all said and done, Ron, this guy could be the difference maker for the Carolina Panthers as this season progresses. We'll need his big playability the rest of the year.
Came into the game with only 21 rushes, but he averages 4.6 a crack. And he'll have to run outside, and there he goes. The cutback. Deshaun Foster rips off a big run. 16 yards.
See Monte Rager here. Look at a get off by Rager. But he can't catch him. Deshaun's too fast, and not a lot of good hustle in pursuit there by Monte Rager. Yeah, Deshaun is fast. Anytime anybody wrong, when I look at the media guide, and they've ran for over 300 yards in one game against a pretty good opponent, that's pretty good stuff. Deshaun Foster did that when he was at UCLA against Washington.
Stephen Davis checks back in. Talk about running back by committee. And now Davis. Davis loses the ball, and the Colts recover.
What did I say? What did I say about them putting a hat on that football and trying to knock it loose from Stephen Davis, who's got that forearm injury right there? See what happens. This is the bread and butter play. The power lead. Up inside. Hard to knocked it out. See if we can get to this angle. Raheem Brock pulls that football out. It's exactly right. Raheem Brock, the left defensive end, and it doesn't take a lot with that right hand to jar the ball loose from Stephen Davis. That forearm's giving him some problems.
Plus, having it taped up creates too much friction there.
Still a turnover down in the red zone.
First down and 10. Time winding down here in the third quarter. James Mungro. And you know, I'm sure John Fox is going to think, well, do I go with Stephen Davis next time out?
Well, I think he's going to ask Stephen, how do you feel? And he'll take Stephen's word for what it is. And you know, you would think that Stephen Davis, as long as he's been in this league, will be honest. Football coach. We'll have to see what they communicate to one another.
And Tim, it could be a strength thing more than anything else. Just
true.
Getting a good grip on the ball, not just the tape forearm. Dallas Clark, he's out across the 20-yard line, and that's the end of the third quarter. Carolina jumps back over Indianapolis 17-13. Fox from Indianapolis will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Ford F-150, America's #1 truck for 26 straight years. And it's again at F-150, it's obvious why. It's built Ford tough.
Get an F-150 with $3,500 cash back or 0 financing for 5 years plus $500 cash. F-150 that comes with more torque than Silverado, Ram, or Tundra with $3,500 cash back or 0 financing for 5 years plus $500 cash.
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again. Only at your Indiana Ford store.
Get pumped up on saving at Menards. All Coleman air compressors are on sale. This 5.5 horse 11-gallon compressor is $179 after $10 rebate. A big 6 horse 27-gallon model is $254 after rebate. Get the world's greatest step stool at the world's greatest. 50 extra large top step, easy folding, and tool tray with parts organizers, $49.99. Step up to saving at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Look at you. And I knew I found a love so.
Sunballs. More choices.
Back here in Indianapolis, Carolina up 17-13 as we start the fourth quarter. Key issues, Stephen Davis hurt, will he return? And obviously, Carolina is doing something different to Marvin Harrison. He's been non-existent this second half so far.
Well, they put Ricky Manning on him, and they put him head up, and I think that's made a difference. And you're right about Stephen Davis. He's had tremendous success running the football here in the second half, but that fumble down in the red zone absolutely crushed this Carolina football team. Now Indy back on the field, and you're also right with pressure. They have gotten good pressure here in the second half on Peyton Manning, making him uncomfortable.
Marvin Harrison is not in the game here. And that's a stop. And I don't think they got it.
Carolina's convinced they don't have it since the turn team's on. And yes, it's fourth down, and that's 3 3-and-outs in a row against these guys.
Short, and they stop him.
Dan Morgan just gets up to the line of scrimmage and doesn't wait for it. That's what you do on yardage as a middle linebacker. See, a middle linebacker, Ron, takes care of the middle of the field. I mean, it's real simple. And when they've got short yardage, you know, yard to go, don't sit back and wait for it. You press the issue, and Morgan had a big stop there.
It helps to have the big boys up front like Peppers and Rucker and Jenkins doing their job. Bad punt by Hunter Smith. He'll get a roll. Smith will take it at about the 40. He gets a block. Steve Smith brought down. Game's touchdown saving tackle by Mike.
By Stephen Davis, there's one of the teams in the league in punt return. He's had some big punt returns in this game and has given his team a tremendous advantage in terms of field position. All along he's been able to do it. I mean, this sets up the game winner against Jacksonville. Puts them in great position there. They get the win. This sets up the winner against Tampa, at least the one that got him into overtime, which was terrific.
41-yard punt, 36-yard return, and look at the field position. Sean Foster's in the game for Stephen Davis, and that's the type of you miss you talked about, Tim.
Here's the Steve Smith, this one. The thing you like about Steve Smith is there's not a lot of sideways dancing. His moves are just enough to make guys miss. And then look at this little golf swing. You got to keep that left elbow straight, Steve. Oh man, that's all body. You got to get some shoulder turn.
When you're the returner in the NFC, form can look like that. Rod Smart checks in. Running back position. Smart's going for it, and that won't work. James Brown's got a little information about the Philly game.
Hey, Ron and Tim, a familiar sight, as you well know. Take a look at McNabb. Smart's out of the pocket. You know, he's dangerous. Then hooking up with Deuce Staley, wants to run along the right sidelines. 2 yards to pay dirt. Staley scores, and they have narrowed the down to 3. 17-14. Back to Ron and Tim.
Oh boy, that's the old Deuce right there.
Sure is. A little payback for Dallas down there. They want this one bad against Philly.
Second down and 8. Lit nice with Smart, and it's covered nicely, but Smart gets away. Touchdown saving tackle again by Mike Doss.
I'll tell you, if Drees Bashir isn't there playing that thing quickly, Doss would have had no chance to get over. So fake it all this way, and then a little toss there. But watch 28 stay home and recognizes the play. Smart start cutting sideways as soon as it goes and goes in. Mike Doss gets the over and make the tackle. Heads up play there by Drees Bashir. Not playing the fake and playing the running.
Both safeties for the Colts. Round picks. Both big-time tacklers. Down in 2. Wow. Away from 2. But he get away from Orton. The leading tackler on the team shows.
They feel like they're this figured out. It's the bread and butter play with James getting out on the pole. Watch all the blue shirts get up in. Thornton's out of nowhere. Force a fourth down. Huge stop there, Ronnie.
Yes, it is.
On third.
This is 23 years out for the footed kicker, Casey. He's been perfect. Snap, hold is good, and he's perfect. And the Panthers had that for 7. So, Indianapolis has got to get something going. Don, what do you see?
As a team, it's the difference between 6 yards and 6 points.
For a coach who lives in, sometimes you've got to break rules.
Over there goes by radio. He's going to be helping us out for a while.
This Saturday night, experience a special preview that leaves you chilling. Radio, rated PG. Sneak preview this Saturday. Opens October 24th.
At Fridays, every bite is twice as good. Because our double glazed feature 2 flavors. First, they're based on rich, smoky glaze. And then finished with Friday's tangy barbecue sauce. Tear Friday's tender glazed ribs. Glazed for a one-of-a-kind taste. Double glazed ribs. Only at Friday's.
They built off-road facilities for overkill. Tow rag. They said others may be as quick, capable, and handle as sharply, but you can match it on all of the above.
Oh, tow rag.
They said it was everything you could need in a luxury SUV, but for 20 grand less. In fact, the only thing the experts couldn't say? Name. Introducing the Twig. Easily car and driver's best luxury SUV for 2003.
Fox Sundays to you by Radio, starring Cuba Jr. and Ed Harrison. It's October 24th, rated PG. By TGI Fridays Double Glazed Baby Ribs. Glazed ice for a one-of-a-kind taste. Only Fridays. Midas. And Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
It's Tim Roger, 7-17, fourth quarter. Stephen Davis still feeling the effect of that form injury. Was that series.
And we're told upstairs that it's been a decision run to keep him on the sideline, and it'll be John Fox's decision whether Stephen Davis comes in this game.
It is deep. They'll take it at 3. Around the court, runs out of real estate, but it's returned 58 yards.
Beautiful. Car and driver named luxury SUV for 2000. West Willis. For an all-wheel drive. Touareg. The Volkswagen does what other Volkswagens don't.
Hey, and
surprise! On my yard.
If you really want tickets to just use your phone. It's the card that will take where you want. Visa.
Hey, you!
Proud sponsor of the NFL.
John Lynch's mom brought Flynn new Cool's chunky chicken and salt gumbo. Filled him up.
What else? What else should he be doing?
Sure beats another frozen dinner. Ate heartily. Later, his buddies ate their extra.
October, Fox telling these European women that this $11,000 a year cowboy is worth $8 million. We lost. It's the Natural Millionaire, Monday, October 20th on Fox.
From executive Jerry Bruckheimer. Why is it our parents comes up for a brand new series that's calling ugly entertaining at every burning turn.
I want you. His father is the district attorney.
Take him down. The series premieres Monday, October on Fox.
We talk about Tom Moore and his halftime adjustments and how he is. Look what happened. Season 115 points in the today. Nada. 0. They've done their job on deep. Big.
That was in motion that tossed to Williams. Williams has fumbled twice. And there it is. You can see he's tentatively.
Dude can't under the ball, Ron. Clearly he was on the ground there, but an arm came in and knocked that loose.
Boy, and the Birds starting out here in Indianapolis. Lungro checks in at the back position as we look at Edgerrin James. The third game with the backs have a bye week. Going to get through this. We'll give him a week of rest. Manning will pass the slant. Reggie Wayne. He gets clocked. Reggie. And Williams, as we say, this is what happens when you start giving up the...
And these are 3 turnovers by Indiana this afternoon. And real difference makers for Carolina. That'll hurt your whole team. This league's about turnovers. You can't give it up.
And a big 3rd down and 2 here. Won't get it. Carolina 4. The best front part minus Princeton Buckner has come up huge for the second time. 3rd and short.
Dan Morgan doing the whole short yard. Doesn't wait. He gets up the hole. He's proactive. He says, forget it. Down. Yeah, he's not going to win. Back in the back. Knock the guy down. That's the thing about Dan. Usually when he wraps you up, you're not going anywhere. He's a terrific tackler.
Did not get a good one last time. There's a tear. That's one of my 3-wood shots. He hit that one. He's got a flip down, 40-yard one with a generous. Well, let's see what the call is. And holding against China before the kick would be the first.
Holding during the kick, number 59. 10-yard penalty. First one, Carolina.
2 big Mike Caldwell this afternoon. Carolina. They'll kill you.
So they won't get the ball because of the post-possession foul. And here comes Carolina.
Extended Cab.
With more standard V8 horsepower than Ford F-150. Truck-wise, they can't judge us. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than used to.
I create. With nightmare. Victor. True. With free.
Get live. October 16th. BA Live. 4 for everyone. What do you create? EA Sports game.
I look for yard sales.
I break for ants.
I for donut.
Chocolate.
My grandkids.
Boys.
I break for the little lady.
Bingo.
Leprechaun.
I free oil change.
Visit your local Midas mechanic now and get a free oil change with any Midas job. Installation of our time guaranteed pads of shoes. Free oil and with any new.
The business of beauty just took a very ugly turn.
Look like sailing.
It's worth $1,000.
Talk next week only on FX. Fox Thrill Sunday brought to you by GM's. We are professional grade.
9 minutes to put here in Indianapolis. And there's a look at the Colts through 3rd down. Has shut him up. Deshaun Foster, the toss. He's got no place. Colts off in the second half, especially Tim Ryan, has been able to do.
Oh, they haven't. They haven't run the football, and they've put over, and then a pressure on Peyton Manning. They haven't sacked him yet, but they've gotten him rattled at times. And then I think one thing you've got to do, the drop. First drop one. Oh, Marvin Harrison, it turned out to be an interception. And a lot of that not Peyton Manning's fault. Marvin's been out for the couple of series for the strong offense.
2nd and 8. Play clock. Deflection. That's a danger ball, and it's intercepted by Brooksy. And that could be the returns the time.
What a head play by Brooksy, and then fumbles. What happens is Matt pulls it loose. And Raheem Brock jumps on it. That's what a veteran in this was in Chad Brady, who's a specialist for this football team out at right. They're going to run the screen here. Bratsky's fighting with Mangum. Now he's going to pick the ball off. Mangum will pull it up. See, Mangum's up there, and Raheem Brock would get on it. That's just heads-up play. Good screen submission by Bratsky. Copeland put some good pressure on DeLone to make him get rid of that football. That's a huge turnover in the defense. Now they got the football on offense in the zone, Ron, and ready to punch it in.
Got a challenge. Red flag coming out from Carolina. Let's find out exactly what John challenge.
Carolina is changing the interception.
What would you say?
Whether or not it was an interception, an incomplete, because he never possessed the ball. The way you look at it, Chad Bratsky is happy.
Hey, sweetheart. I miss you.
Miss you too.
What did you do today?
I played soccer.
For your important call, refund on the Service America Trust. AT&T Wireless.
Some big appetite head. Looks like an NFL deal for the Hut and order any large specialty pizza regular price and you get a medium one-topping pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi for just $1 or more. A pizza and a gather around stuff.
Get in the looking cracks. There you go.
This is Muhsin Muhammad of the Carolina Panthers. He is the single athlete ever to play the game of football. Although this may not be true, Muhsin asked me that. Muhsin donates his time to the United Way through a neighborhood program in his community, which makes it just not the great.
We got to get this all covered before we go home.
These are just some of the good things that his critics are saying about the development. The fall's best sitcom, hilarious, the smartest and sharpest comedy of this or last season, the funniest play on the fall sketch. The question is, how much will it make you, as how little will it make you laugh? Now, in an to give everyone equal voice, these are some of the bad things people are saying. Exactly. Don't miss what it's calling the new comedy of the year, Arrested Development. Premieres Sunday, November 2nd on Fox.
I think what Larry Nemmers is looking at here is who's got possession of the ball. Is it Chad Bradsky? Is it Chris Mangum who has it? To me, it's Bradsky all the way. He's got the ball there. Mangum's only got one hand. You see his other hand down there. Bradsky takes 4 or 5 steps, and then Mangum pulls it out. To me, Ron, that's an interception by Indianapolis on defense. And Larry Nemmers is over there under the hood trying to figure it out. And remember, the call on the field was interception. There'll have to be something clear that shows that indeed Bradsky did not have that football on the pick that would cause him to overturn his call. This is a tough one because it's not a real definitive look from what you can see here. But to me there, look at both hands. You saw Mangum, both hands were down here when Bradsky had that football.
Yeah.
And then the 4 or 5 steps, and then Chris Mangum's able to pull it out. Clearly an interception.
Larry Nemmers is still looking. But here he comes. This is a huge